Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Wednesday. I'm glad you're here. I apologize for not being in. My daughter JoJo has a sore throat and a fever this morning. So here are your sub plans. We're going to continue to work on the wire figure mixed media sculpture. Yesterday, we should have opened up the 3A wire figure practice document and worked on questions 1 and 2. One was a written response, two was a drawing response, and our focus was drawing accurate proportions in a static position. Today we're going to be focusing on question 3, which is where you continue to draw figures with accurate proportions, but in a dynamic gesture. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So to review, the final end result of the project is a wire figure sculpture, but it's mixed media, meaning you're using more than just wire. You can see that there's fabric, there might be some tin foil, there's paint, there's wood, there's a lot of other materials going in. Yesterday we also talked about figure drawing, as well as what a figure was. We talked a little bit about Leonardo da Vinci and his sketch of the Vitruvian Man, which shows ideal proportions of the human body. And some of the proportions that we used for our activity yesterday was the ratio of 8 heads tall to a total height, and the spine and femur being equal. So you did a really nice job working on that yesterday. We're going to continue to follow this guideline where we start with the head, shoulders, spine, and then hips. And then after you do that, your spine and femur are going to be equal. So you have that and continue there. And then notice how the progression of body parts is shoulders, elbows, hips, hands, and knees. Okay. And then depending on your body type, whether it's a build or traditional or average masculine or feminine, these different volumes might change a little bit. And then we watch this video how to create a figure accurately and proportionally using pencil and paper. So you definitely can re-look at that video at any point if you need to see that today. Today, what's new? We're going to be talking about gesture drawing. Gesture drawing is a technique used to study the human figure in various poses or actions. So if you look at these really rough sketches here, you can start to see the form and the shape of the human body, but notice how the position is way more interesting than these figures. These figures are static or boring, not a lot going on, so they're a little bit easier to draw. These are much more dynamic or interesting or just very more engaging because of the gesture. So if you take a look at maybe an athlete, you're going to see the spine and hips and shoulders curve, and that's what we're going to be working on today. So what you're going to do essentially is draw the first first figure like normal, which is like such, and then instead of drawing the arms and legs like they've done before, you're going to put them in a unique position. So for example, once you have this drawn, you're going to put the arms into a different position, still proportionally accurate. You're still trying to make sure that your arms are equal. Maybe this is some type of dancer. Okay, now that obviously looks probably horrible, but again, the idea is the same. This distance is still this distance, right? This distance is still this distance. This distance is still this distance. So all these things are still equal. You are just simply making it a little more dynamic and interesting. Okay. Now, after you do a few of these, if you'd like to challenge yourself, you can also do a figure where after the head has been drawn, you can you can tilt the spine and the shoulders a little bit to get a little bit more interesting start to your position. Um, Now, if you take a look at if you take, why am I signed out? That's real annoying. Sorry. If you take a look at the wire figure practice document, oh, we don't need to do that right now, do we? Oh, sorry, folks. All right, let's just view it this way. All right, so if we take a look at the wire figure document, what you'll see is the written response and the activity we did yesterday where you posted your photos here. We're going to be working on 3 today. There's a video on 3 and a presentation that jumps you to the definition of gesture drawing, but you're doing basically what I just described. So go ahead and watch this video independently, and what you'll see is how I do some of the different gesture drawing. That's going to be focusing on doing those dynamic techniques that I demonstrated. Notice in the video how I'm fitting 3 figures on one page. I'd like you to strive to draw only one figure per page by flipping it portrait or up and down, so you have a lot of space there. So watch that video and listen to me talk on your own after this activity, and you're posting your photos here. This is what we're doing the entire class. So even though it says draw 3 figures, if you have time for only 3 figures, great. If you have time for 10 figures, great. We're focusing on quality, not quantity. So those are your steps for today. Work hard, have fun, and be creative. Thanks for your effort.